Thank you very much, Laurie. Looking forward to the women's semis out in Melbourne. Now then, Liverpool 6-0 winners against Qarabag. Excellent night for Arne Slot. The only really kind of black cloud was another injury to a right back in Jeremy Frimpong, which looked like a hamstring problem, which has sidelined him already this season. But great scoreline. Let's hear from the Liverpool manager.
There were so many positives all over the pitch, really. The way that your team adapted to another player playing out of position. What pleased you the most about the performance itself?
That I don't think we had a bad 5, 6 or 7 minutes, because that's actually what we only have during all the other games, 5, 6, 7 or 8 difficult minutes where we then usually concede. But today we didn't have that 7 or 8 minutes. And as a result of that, we didn't concede. So the last minute, I really liked 6-0 up. They had one counter-attack, and I saw all my players being back in their box. And I've said many times, if we improve in both boxes, there's a lot to play for this team. Even if we have... we don't have even so many injuries, but if we have a few, it's harder for us than for some other teams in this league.
You say better in both boxes. It seemed like Hugo Ekitike makes a real difference. Florian Wirtz, we've seen maybe the best of them, and the partnership, they seem to be blossoming together.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've said many times already that players are developing, and that's also very good of them. They put a lot of energy in it, worked really hard to be able to play every 3 days. The reason why I took them off is also to give them a little bit of rest towards the Newcastle game, because that, as we know, Newcastle is going to be incredibly intense again. But these players have adapted. I can come up with performances of us earlier on this season after we played in Europe or during the week that it was much harder for certain players to play at the level they are playing at now. And that's development, and that's what we as a club always knew when we made it so many changes in the summer. And you can see now that these players are adapting and progressing and developing a lot.
Well done tonight, thank you.
You're welcome.
Arne Slot's biggest win as Liverpool manager. He was talking to Danny Jameson. He's a calm, measured man by and large, isn't he? But I sense he's felt the need to be a bit punchier the last week or two because the team haven't done what he wanted.
Yeah, in certain interviews there's been a little bit of spikiness in there. I don't think there was any need for that tonight because his team were excellent.
Yeah.
18 points out of 24. They were dominant from start to finish. I agree with him in terms of the combination play between Ekitike, Wirtz, Salah getting a goal. A lot of positives tonight, and it was exactly the result and the performance that the manager needed, just to calm a little bit of noise going into the weekend. Yeah, you see McAllister here just scoring at the back post, coming from a set piece, which is another positive. They haven't scored as many they would have liked. No. But the main positive is these two, Ekitike. They're the timing of the pass and the finish. They're growing and evolving, and that connection, they're on the same wavelength. Szoboszlai manipulates the ball there. Salah, lovely finish. Him getting on the goal, first one since November. When there's space behind the back lines, Liverpool can look extremely dangerous. I love this kid. I think he's just going to get better and better. Yeah. What a signing he's been so far.
Tremendous. So you can kind of see, Ali and Joe and Rory, you can see the younger players who they probably want to build the next team around. It's filling in the gaps, isn't it?
Yeah,
a little bit.
I mean, it's been tough for Liverpool this year, particularly obviously domestically, but they've got that level of quality in them. I mean, it's no surprise. I mean, we spoke before it. Would it be a major surprise if Liverpool went all the way and went deep in this tournament? No. I've seen some of the performances this year, particularly away at Frankfurt, away at Marseille, and I've thought, yeah, I mean, if they can perform with that, it's just a level of consistency, particularly domestically at home, and there's one or two errors come into the game at home, but long term they'll be absolutely fine.
Great.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're at that stage, like, you know, with Mo Salah's form slightly sliding, Virgil van Dijk maybe not being, he's not at his best. So the club's maybe at a crossroads, but they've got some fantastic young players. Ekitike, been a breath of fresh air. Love watching him. Wirtz will settle in, so and they could still win something. They could still win this tournament.
That might be pushing it, but Europe, they seem better suited to Europe than the Premier League. I think that's probably fair to say. The intensity, the sort of transitions in the Premier League seem to really flummox Liverpool, whereas in the Champions League, all right, they lost at Galatasaray, but it's a tough place to go, and and they've not been flawless, and the home defeat to PSV obviously is not good enough. But they look much more comfortable, as Stephen says, with space behind, space to play into, a nice football match.
Yeah.
I think they're a good team.
It's when teams take them out of the comfort zone or set them a challenge, i.e. the block, or the set pieces are coming in from different angles. That's when they've struggled. It'll be a much bigger test at the weekend, coming up against Newcastle. We've just praised their performance and counter-attack, fast attacks, crosses coming in, 1v1 situations. So there's bigger tests for this side in the coming weeks. They've got Newcastle and City coming up.
Potentially with no available right back.
Well, that's the only disappointment for the night, because Frimpong's been excellent lately, looked really fast and dangerous, and in 1v1 situations been really creative. Got issues in the back line. It'd be interesting if that could be the final straw to go into the market, because I don't think they've wanted to go into the market, because there's been a lot of change and a lot of transition in a lot of positions, but with no Bradley, Frimpong, it could be a hamstring. Minimum, they're normally 2-3 weeks anyway.
Easy.
I wouldn't be surprised if they go and get someone that could probably play right across the back line.
Yeah, because as you say, Gomez, Konate, potentially unavailable as
Unless Gomez's impact was only days.
But Liverpool's whole thing is they don't like doing stuff for the short term. They won't go and spend money just to solve a short term problem. But if you're looking at their back line, they've got 4 or 5 senior fit defenders. That's not enough. If you want to go deep in the Champions League, you need more cover than that. So they've got 2 days left of the market. It might depend on what they can do, but it feels like they probably should do something.
You could have a similar conversation.
There's another muscle injury to Jeremy Frimpong, which forced him off inside the first 2 minutes.
Now, it's obvious that if a player goes out like that, you don't expect him to play Saturday against Newcastle. And maybe I can come back to something I said yesterday when I said that it might, I used the word might, but apparently not everybody is listening very properly to what I say, has helped us that we lost against Paris Saint-Germain. We were not happy. I wasn't happy losing against Paris Saint-Germain. I wanted to go all the way with that team. That team was strong enough to win the Champions League as well. And we were by far the best team in the league. So we completely deserved to win the league. But if you are the best team in the league, then you have need those players available. If you then face a situation of 3, 4, 5 injuries, it might have been more difficult for us, but we were the best team in the league, and we could have won the Champions League as well, and we would have loved to go to the next round last season. But this club, it hits us harder if we have injuries than the clubs we are in competition with.
As for Arsenal, they beat Kairat Almaty 3-2 as they completed a flawless league phase with their 8th consecutive Champions League win. Well, Arsenal went in front after just 2 minutes through Victor Gyökeres. But just a minute later, Kairat were awarded a penalty after a foul by Ricardo Calafiori. Jorginho took it and scored. Shortly after, though, Kai Havertz, who was making his first start for nearly a year, put Arsenal back ahead. 10 minutes before half-time, Gabriel